Like while you're f***ing these like new men, do you think about the guy who put it down just right? That's such a oh my god, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I can analyze
That's so
that.
crazy, dude.
I don't think that way.
She's having sex with other
I
men.
can analyze.
She's having sex with other men, and she's thinking about the guy who did it just right.
So I can answer that.
Oh my god, that's
I can answer that question. So the reason why
That's crazy.
the reason why I knew I needed to get a divorce was because I have a crystal clear memory of me having sex with my husband and thinking about this other guy, and me knowing in that moment I have to divorce him, because if I don't get out of this marriage, I'm going to cheat on him. I'm going to try to find this. And I know that's really up, but I didn't want to be a cheater.
It's not. That's happened to me.
I mean, at least she admits that it's really fucked up. But the thing is, it's one thing having sex with your husband and thinking about another man that you used to have sex with. But why would you even get into a relationship, let alone a marriage, when you are still attached to somebody else, right? It feels and sounds like she got married to her husband to, like, her husband was like a backup plan. Like, if it doesn't work out with the guy I really like, I'm just gonna marry the guy who wants me, which is her husband, right? And I think this just goes to show that in any relationship, attraction is really key, right? Like, the man has to find the woman attractive enough, sexually attractive, if anything, and the woman has to do the same, because otherwise, then it's not going to be an honest relationship, right? Because if the shoes were switched, if the shoe was on the other foot, and the husband was thinking of another woman while having sex with her, his wife, she wouldn't like it. Right? Because it's going to be like, okay, why are you married? Why did you even agree to this marriage if you feel and you're still attached to another man? Right? If you're still attached to another person, if you're still attached to another woman, why did you agree to this marriage? You know, in my opinion, people need, like, if you break up with somebody, this is my opinion. Everybody can do whatever they want, right? If you break up with somebody that you really attached to, I think you need some time to get over the situation, because it's always going to affect your next relationship if you're not totally healed and over that person, you know, and then you're going to bring the same situation in the next relationship or marriage, which also is going to be affected and then also come to an end, just like your previous relationship. But at least she admits she knows it was fucked up. And she says she asked her husband for a divorce because of that. But I think she shouldn't have gotten into the marriage to begin with.
Me too.
So while you were, hold on, let me recap here. While you were having sex with your husband, you were thinking about another man who you were having, who you had better sex with. And because the sex with your husband wasn't as good as the sex with this other man, you wanted to get a divorce.
It wasn't the sex, it was the connection. But yes,
It was the realization
100%.
too.
The guy who
Yeah, but I think it's also going to be the sex. If the connection isn't there, the sex is never going to happen. I think Brian is literally right. I don't know. She's playing around with the words, but that's what it is. If the connection isn't there, the sex is never going to feel good. The sex is never going to feel magical. So it's the same thing.
who was really good in bed, how long did you date him for?
6 months.
And how soon did you have that connection after meeting him?
Immediately. It was immediate.
You wait, hold on. I thought a connection is something that takes a while to develop.
No, it's that intrinsic connection that you either have or you don't with a person. It's either there or it's not.
So just
that you
base
can
primal-
build. You can build on that connection to have form deeper connections.
Wow,
but
this is a red pill if I've ever fucking heard
No, but
one.
there's different types of connections. There can be a connection.
Well,
there
this
can
was a
be
base primal
mental
connection. You had the click.
You've never had that before?
Why did
I think she's just she keeps, well, they all keep saying connection, but I think it's just really attraction. Like, you see someone and right away you make a decision. I find this person attractive. I don't find this person attractive. And then you build on that to form the romance, the romantic attraction. You have to be physically attracted to the person first for the romantic attraction to be easy and fluid and smooth. Because if you don't find the person physically attractive once you see them, it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very hard for you to build the romantic attraction, right? And I think that's why most times arranged marriages never worked out in back in the day, because apparently either if they found a wife for the son, one of them may not be attracted to the other person, so it's always going to be a tough road. It's going to be a tough marriage, right? Because if the other person is not attracted to that person at all, I don't think the whole attraction will happens, right? Either that physical attraction is there and then you build on it, or it's not there and then it's just going to be a whole bunch of turmoil throughout the whole relationship, which is going to lead to cheating anyway. So I think the whole connection they're talking about is just a pure physical attraction you see when you meet somebody for the first time. It doesn't grow. It's either there or it's not there, but it's very tough for it to grow.
Why did it not work out with this guy?
Because he was a lot younger than me, and I didn't want younger meaning he was in a completely different stage in his life from me, and I didn't want to hold him
Translation: he wasn't making any money. He wasn't able to provide.
down by being in a relationship with me. I kind of made the sacrifice to let him be young and do and experience his youth and not be tied down by me.
Mm-hmm.
Was he what archetype was he? Was he a bad boy?
Archetype?
He was cocky, but
archetype.
but sweet.
Cocky but sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Tattoos?
No
tattoos. Okay.
Pretty much the antithesis of what my type is, I should say.
He was the opposite of what your type is. What's your type?
Tall, dad bod, not cocky,
So
down
he was
to earth.
short.
He was not short.
See, now this is confusing, and I just made a video about how women say they love dad bods, but how can you say the guy that made you divorce your husband didn't have a dad bod, but then you're attracted to dad bods? I'm guessing your husband had a dad bod, but then you divorced him because every time you had sex with him, you were thinking about the guy that you're still attached to who doesn't have a dad bod, but now you're saying your type is a guy with a dad bod who's tall. Like, this is so confusing, man.
I think he was right about my
Was
height.
he ripped?
Skinny.
Skinny, okay.
Bad skin.
Bad skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I saw beyond the physical. I just fell in love with who he was.
Were there any like did he have any personality disorders?
No, he was the most normal. He was so mature. Like, I met him when I was 28 and he was 22, and at 22 he was already a pilot. He was already working in aviation. He was already on his way towards his aviation career, and he was just very goal driven.
Hilly donated $100. It's beyond up. Brian's right. Good men get fucked over cause of your fairy tale delusion. Disgusting. After you segue into body count, can we ask why they deserve this man that they dream of?
I didn't say I completely am. I don't live in Delululand. I am very aware that it's up. Thus, why I wanted to get a divorce, because I didn't want to be that awful person that cheated on her husband.
At least she's a.
Okay, so to bring back the story or the whole thing together, right? She's dating this guy for 6 months that she's really attracted to, but apparently he's too young and she can't lock him down, or he's not ready to settle down. At least from what she's saying, that's the best conclusion I can get, right? But at the same time, apparently the guy she's attached to for 6 months is not her type, right? So in this case, her type is her husband. But then when she's having sex with her husband, she's thinking about the guy she broke up with, who she's still attached to, who's not her type, right? Because he's young and doesn't have a dad bod, right? Now, because she's thinking about the guy she's attached to while having sex with her husband, she decides to divorce her husband. Now, she doesn't have the husband, but neither does she have the guy that she was attached to before she got married. Now, she has nobody. So she divorced her husband, but she doesn't even have the guy that could have taken her husband's place. This is so confusing, man. What do you guys think? Comment down below. I'll put the full video, the link down below to the Whatever Podcast channel. Peace.